Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days. And thank you so much for being here, for stopping by. And this week we are looking at Monday, November 13th and going to Sunday, November 19th. We start the week with a new moon in Scorpio. And that moon then changes later in the day toward the evening to Sagittarius. And then by next Sunday, we will have the moon in Aquarius. So we're getting toward the end of the chart in that way, of the wheel, I should say. And, you know, when we have the Scorpio, I think we talked about that last week, that's much more intense. You have those levels of the snake, well, excuse me, actually before that, the scorpion, then the snake, then the eagle, and then the phoenix. So we still have Mars there, and that's a bit of a player this week as well. So it's a bit intense with all that energy in Scorpio, because Scorpio loves the depths, loves to figure things out, can be a little obsessive as well, but also very good at solving mysteries. When we go to the moon in Aquarius by the end of the week, that's the sign of the humanitarian, the one with the way out ideas, likes to help humanity, is concerned with social justice, things like that. So, a few astrological events for the week for us to watch out, or, you know, to have a heads up on. We have the on Monday, we have the sun opposite Uranus, and you know, Uranus rules Aquarius, so that's part of where that way out stuff comes from, that energy, the quirky ideas, but also the very humanitarian and forward-thinking ideas of Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. It was one of its planets. And so when we have the sun opposite that, it could be a lot of unexpected things that day. You think things are going one way, and then they go just exactly the opposite, because Uranus does rule surprises. So that could, you know, happen on Monday. Just keep a heads up. And then on Wednesday, we have Mercury sextile Venus, and that makes for a very pleasant and mellow day, where people can say difficult things in a nice way. And I have to say that I am attending most likely a funeral that day for a kind of distant family member. So, you know, I'm glad that it will be a day that people can say hard things in a good way. By the time we get to Friday, we have Mars trine Neptune, the Sun trine Neptune, because the Sun and Mars are very close to each other right now. And then we also have the Sun, I should say, not just close, but conjunct. I mean, that could be, some people say like a 6-degree difference, but probably closer than that. If I remember right, they are closer. So what does that do for us? It can be very dreamy, very idealistic kinds of energy. Neptune will mellow out that Mars. Sun will be mellowed by... let me say that again. Neptune is what I meant to say, will help mellow out the Mars and the Sun. And then when we have the Sun and Mars conjunct, that's a lot of energy, but it can be in a very positive place. So it's a really good day to be creative. The Neptune gives us that tap into the creative energies. It rules Pisces. And then Mars gives us a lot of energy, as the Sun does as well. So good day to, as I mentioned, to dream, be idealistic, to create, maybe to help others as well, volunteer, do something like that. All right. So let's get into the cards for the week, and trying to find a theme. There really sort of hasn't been one that's emerged for me yet, except for it's eclectic. And given that the Uranus energy is out there and interacting with where the sun is and Mars and so forth right now, that doesn't surprise me because it brings in that kind of eccentric, eclectic energy. I am using the Guardian of the Night deck by, I think it's MJ, somebody cool a name. And this first card is the Three of Pentacles. So an earth energy. I like the way that they're balanced in the antlers here above the head of our deer. And threes are almost always harmonious, connected to the Empress, and in this case, trying to create something that is tangible and working with others to do that. So, with the moon, that new moon in Scorpio, the new moon always brings in a new kind of energy. We're starting a new lunation cycle. So I could see, if you're so-called to work with other people, it's a good energy day for that, to create something tangible as well. So Tuesday, we get our first major, and we have two this week. We do have two people cards or royal cards and two majors, and I believe two swords. So I guess there's a bit of a pairing kind of thing going on. And I just remembered two fives as well. So I guess there's something about, you can take it either as duality or you can take it toward the non-binary. And I think that's one of the shifts that we're making, is moving out of seeing things in that back and forth, black and white kind of way, and into the non-duality. So here on Tuesday, we have the Hierophant, and it's number 5 in the majors. And it is frequently seen as a spiritual leader. It can represent the law, can represent philosophy, courts, things like that. Churches, people of the church, also of churches, I should say, of whatever denomination, whatever inkling one has in that direction. But my favorite view of it is as a spiritual teacher. So within, we might project that outward onto someone, but it's really important, I feel like in this time, as part of our evolution, to understand that we all have that spiritual wisdom within ourselves. And, Tuesday can be a good day to tap that kind of energy. It also fits with the moon moving into Sagittarius, because Sagittarius also rules those same sorts of areas: philosophy, law, higher mind, education. By Wednesday, we have our first royal card or people card, and our first fire with a wand, fire energy here. And our lion is looking quite mellow, it seems, and then you've got that wonderful sort of sunburst and crow sitting on the head. And the King of Wands tends to like what the King of Wands likes. So there is obviously a fire energy because it's wands. It's very masculine because it's wands. It's also masculine, so we call it a double masculine because it's a king. So a strong energy of I want what I want and moving forward. Our only caution there is just to maybe, to be mindful of not kind of stepping on other people's toes with our enthusiasm. But it's a very directed and mature male kind of energy, masculine, I should say, not gender related, but masculine. And then on Thursday, we get a swords card, and this is the 6 of Swords. And very frequently, it is about crossing the water. And so here we have our sea turtle, flippers down in the water, going over the seaweed and so forth. And the concept is generally that the people or animal, creature, whatever, is heading to a better place, that they're going across waters that will take them to a better place. So by Thursday, we are journeying into a different kind of energy. that hopefully also puts things in better perspective. Sixes are related to the Lovers. That tends to be a happy card, tends to be about communication and union, potentially reunion, things like that. And so the Six of Swords fits in with that, as in a journey to a better understanding, a better place. Friday comes along and we get that second major, as I mentioned, and this one is Judgment. You can probably see that's the number 20 in the deck. So you're getting toward the end of that journey that the majors in the tarot represent. And, sometimes I struggle with this card. Overall, though, I feel like it is encouraging us to have good judgment, to use our judgment well without judging the self and others. And here I'll bring it a little closer. Maybe you can tell we have the snake, all glorious and in a shiny new skin, golden, reaching upward, bird as witness, and we believe there's some kind of a connection there that they, obviously the snake's still a reptile, but that birds once were reptilian as well, and until they evolved. And we have the shed skin here. So that's where the judgment to me can be shed. It's like the judgmental, I should say. Having good judgment, yes, we want that. But shed the judgmental. Realize you're probably in a new place. We're all growing, evolving. And that is something that we can cultivate, not being judgmental, but having good judgment. When Saturday comes around, we have the really only challenge card of the week. And it doesn't have to be a challenge. It could be a sort of letting go. You can see that it's 5 cups, so it's going to be something emotional, something in the psychic realm possibly. Could be unconscious or subconscious. But what always gets me about this card is that you have, in almost every depiction of it I've ever seen in every deck, 3 broken or turned over cups and 2 that are still standing. And I believe I've said this on the channel before, but that to me goes back to the Lovers card, not the Lovers as in the majors, but the Love card, the 2 of Cups. And so that's still there. So if other things maybe seem broken, there's still some sort of partnership that can happen. And in this case, we do have a moth, but often there'll be a butterfly connected with this too. So I feel like there is a way that, we try to rise above it. The moth is above the situation here. And can we find the transformative energy of that? How can we change that? And since it's a 5, it's also connected to the Hierophant. And so learning to take in stride our disappointments, which this might represent, is very important. We don't get the job we wanted, we don't get the house we wanted, we don't get the date we wanted, whatever it might be. There's probably a good reason for it, and we can always try again, and something maybe even better will come along for us. So that's one of the lessons associated with the Hierophant. As human beings. And then our last day, Sunday, we get that second people card, a royal card, the Page of Swords. So associations with this one tend to be things like messages, information, especially in the swords. All pages can be informative, bringing in information, but I feel like that is particularly true with this one. Because it's air and thoughts move, air circulates, ideas circulate. We say words into the air. All of those things are associated with this card. It can also be like dispelling a mood, taking that sword and saying, all right, I'm just waving away these clouds. I'm waving away this smoke. I'm going to cut right through this, maybe BS, and get to a better place with it. All right, so that is our week. I guess if anything dominates, it's the pairs. And our last card is an oracle card, and this is from the Crystal Angels. And what came up for us this week is opal. Let yourself sparkle and shine. That's kind of the motto on the card here. Now's the time to reveal your personality and shine brightly. This card comes up whenever you have been hiding your light for fear of being too much. You are guided to show your larger-than-life side. Laugh heartily, express your opinions freely, dress boldly, and don't hold back. You inspire others to shine their light through your living example. This card can also be a sign of expressing and clearing any anger you've been repressing in a relationship. In particular, take healthy action in a marriage where hidden, I would say, or any relationship where hidden resentment has negatively affected the romance and friendship within the partnership. Marital counseling or mediation is advised to bring about healing and resolution. So about opal, these fragile light refracting stones are formed from silica and water. Opals are celebrated for their fiery coloring and their association with spiritual alchemy, so things changing from within. They can amplify hidden wishes and feelings as well as your intentions for manifesting. So that seems like a great way to use that energy to manifest perhaps more of the true self, and to bring that into relationship and realize that that's the best thing that we have to offer is our authenticity, and from that hopefully loving kindness. But we I think owe it to ourselves and others to be real in that way. So please take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. And again, thank you so much for coming by, and I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful week. And if you are interested in a personal reading, need a little bit of help, support, guidance that way, the information will be below in the description box, and then some at the end of the video too. So beloveds, have the best possible week, and I will see you next week.